miss this. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe.
Don't forget to press the bell icon and press the all button to know the notifications when I upload a video.
In this video, let's take a rapid quick revision of what we have learned in our plant reproduction. Subject is how do organisms reproduce? The rapid review is about plant reproduction. Now let's discuss what is reproduction. What is reproduction? It is a process by which living organisms produce new individuals similar to themselves. Reproduction ensures continuity of life on Earth. Reproduction is a bridge to hereditary transmission. It involves the continuation of characters from the parents to the daughter cells by copying DNA. Copying of DNA, even minute changes, brings about variations in the blueprint of the offsprings. Whereas the useful variations are retained while the harmful ones do not go beyond. These variations help the species to withstand drastic environmental changes, thus saves the species from becoming extinct and promotes its survival. How do organisms reproduce? Reproduction takes place by two methods, sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. Again further, asexual reproduction is carried out by unicellular organism and multicellular organism. Whereas the asexual reproduction is of two types, unicellular organism and by multicellular organism. In unicellular organism, it involves only one parent and there is no formation and fusion of gametes. Under unicellular, we have binary fission, multiple fission and budding. When we talk about multicellular organism, we will discuss deeply about fragmentation, regeneration, budding, spore formation and vegetative propagation. Reproduction is of two types, asexual and sexual. Let's begin with asexual reproduction. Let's see asexual reproduction. It is extremely useful as a means of rapid multiplication. It is common in lower plants and animals. Different forms of asexual reproduction. Fission. The parent cell divides or splits into two daughter cells. That's binary fission. When the parent cell divides or splits into many cells, then it is multiple fission. Budding. A new organism is produced as an outgrowth of the parent body part, then it is called budding. Fragmentation. It is the accidental process when the broken pieces of an organism, that's fragments, grows into a complete organism. Regeneration. When simple animals like a hydra, planaria develop a new individual from the broken older part, it is called regeneration. It is carried out by a specialized cell which grow large number of cells. Let's move on to spore formation. Spores are small bulb-like structure which develops at the top of the erect hyphae. of the fungus plant. When released into the air, it germinates into a new individual after landing into the soil. Now let's move on to vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation is nothing but a mode of reproduction in parts like stem, root, leaves develop into a new plant under favorable condition. Let's see the benefits of vegetative propagation. Growing banana, orange, rose, jasmine have lost the capacity to produce seeds. Plants can bear flowers, fruits more quickly than those produced from seeds. The genetical similarities maintained in the plants like sugarcane, rose, grapes by layering or grafting. Now let's move on to sexual reproduction in plants. When reproduction takes place as a result of the fusion between two gametes, one from each parent, then it is called sexual reproduction. The process of fusion between two gametes is called fertilization. The formation of gametes involves an exchange of chromosomal genetic fragments between homologous chromosomes, causing generic recombination which leads to variations. Sexual reproduction in plants mostly occurs in flowering plants. In fact, flowers are the reproductive organ of plants. When the pollen grains of a flower transfer to the stigma of the carpel of another flower, then it is cross pollination. Pollen grains of a flower transfer to the stigma of the carpel of the same flower, then it is called self pollination. This transfer of pollens is achieved by agents like wind, water, or animals. After pollination, the pollen grains reach the egg cell in the form of a pollen tube. Let's move on to fertilization. The fusion between the pollen grain and the female egg cell, it occurs inside the ovary. This zygote is produced in this process. The zygote divides several times to form an embryo within the ovule. The ovule develops a rough coat and it is converted into a seed. Ovary grows rapidly and ripens to form fruit, while the seed contains the future plant or embryo which develops into seedling under suitable condition. This is known as germination. Thus, we have come to a conclusion of how do organisms reproduce and particularly about plant reproduction.